Check, 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 check,
Chickity
check.
check.
Microphone.
Check them all. Check them all.
97 seconds. Bays Boys podcast. Once again, your host, Joe Skelly with
Ooh.
Tyler. I don't know how your wave's looking.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome
Tyler.
back.
Did you think we'd be here this long?
Nope.
I mean, as many times as they've been trying to shut down this program, we just
Yep.
keep coming back.
Yep. We're like MTV.
Except for better.
Garbage acid. Just what the fuck's happening?
We just never stopped doing the music videos.
Right.
We didn't do any of that side project
No.
bullshit like,
No.
you know, the real reality world or whatever it was.
Once they stopped playing music videos, I just quit watching it.
Yeah.
Fucking Carson Daly.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. So, 1970s Korea.
What about it?
Ordered 1,000 Volvos from Sweden.
Okay, so in the 70s, in Korea, they
Mhm.
ordered 1,000 Swedish Volvos.
Yep. Volvos show up to Korea.
Okay.
Korea throws the list in the invoice in the garbage.
Why?
They didn't give a fuck.
I'm not, you've lost me.
They ordered these cars from Sweden, right? And never paid the bill. Korea was like, fuck it, we ain't paying it.
Oh!
That is known. It is literally known as the largest car heist in the world.
Oh,
Right.
okay. They're
you
like, we never
imagine?
got the bill. Can you send it again?
Right. Could you imagine? 1,000 cars.
Korea was like, psych!
Right. Bro. That.
They did COD, cash on delivery.
Oh my God. The delivery guy just moved into Korea. Was like, I'm not leaving. I'm keeping it. I'll take the cars.
I can't go back.
Think about it. If they bribed him, they only needed to give him $20. He'd be fit like a king forever.
Right.
Be good to go.
Right.
Where all those fucking Volvos go, though? Like, who's driving them?
Are they still around?
You know they are. So this is pretty interesting, and we've talked about this on maybe not on mic. I know definitely off mic about this whole, like, if you buy a certain car in another country, they don't have to follow the same
Safety guidelines.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a different car.
Right. That's why a lot of these cars aren't allowed to be imported to the United States, because they don't meet the safety standards that the U.S. government set.
So this is
Like, I'll give you an example. The one vehicle I truly want.
Yeah.
Toyota Hilux pickup truck.
Okay.
It's like the in-between size between a Toyota Tacoma and a Toyota Tundra, but it's a turbo diesel.
Wow.
It's the one where every time you see people doing in war across in the other parts of the world,
Yeah.
they're riding around in that pickup truck
That's
with a
the one?
machine gun mounted.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one.
Right.
It's such a tough truck. I know somebody that was in a Hilux where the engine block got shot by a
Right.
machine gun round.
Right.
And it continued to drive for another 5 hours
Jesus.
with a hole in the engine block, right? I said, how'd you handle this? He was like, bro, we just turned on the heat to vent the heat off the engine block. He goes, we just had to keep switching spots in the cabin because it got too hot to sit in the front seat.
Right.
So he just played, Chinese fire drilled it and kept switching seats. And he said we
Ooh.
drove for another 5 hours
Ooh.
with a hole in the engine block.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I always thought they wouldn't let that truck into the United States because it was a turbo diesel and somehow it didn't meet emissions. But I was later told it's because it lacks like a lot of the safety features.
Really?
Yeah. Like airbags and shit.
Oh, so they just to cut cost and get it over there, they're just like, fuck it, we don't need it.
You could get a brand new Hilux overseas for like 18 grand.
Now, could we import that?
No.
Not even a little bit. Not even as a track car.
I think they have to be older than 20 years.
Ah, well, we got to be coming up on some of that pretty soon. That's some good ones. Those 2002s. Me and Shaggy were looking at the Dodge Viper the other day. I was like, man, we need a Bays Boys podcast Dodge Viper. You can get a
No, hold on. I thought you were all not about this, because didn't you and Shaggy have a discussion about if you had all the money in the world, what would you drive? You were like,
absolutely.
I drive a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
He goes, but you have all the money in the world. He goes, well, you can't go any faster than the speed limit.
No,
Why would
no.
I own a Lamborghini?
That's absolutely right. But for the same price as the what's it called? You can get the Viper now. It's 20 years old, man.
Right.
$50,000 for a 80,000 mile Viper. I'm like, what? It's a little bit confusing.
Right.
It's a little bit confusing. But that with the Bays logo on it, I think we win.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Take it to the racetrack.
Here's the problem though. We can't drive stick, so that's an issue.
I'll drive it.
Yeah, you'll have to drive it.
I'll have to drive it.
Yeah, but we're not trying to get thrown in prison. We just talked about how you got to go the speed limit though. So you can't drive it. We need somebody that goes the speed limit. That's me. I'm 5 under.
Are you commenting on my ability to drive?
No.
I mean, you've been on long distance road trips with me.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I do a pretty good job.
Yeah. If we're evading mortar fire, we're gonna fucking win for sure. Without a doubt. If I only need one way for Joe Skelly to drive, this is the way. I'm just not sure every day.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So Joe Skelly just kind of takes the road.
Hey,
I think he still thinks he's in the foreign land driving. That's what's happening.
it's very possible.
Yeah.
It's very possible.
So that's what we need. That's what we need. You
need a Dodge Daytona. I mean,
yep. We're gonna need a Dodge Viper.
Dodge Viper Bays Boys.
Just for the Bays Boys logo, so we could park it on the street somewhere. Leave it there for weeks at a time. Leave it at the Walmart parking lot.
Somebody steals it.
Nobody will steal it. They'll think it's a trap car, so nobody's going near that. Because they're like, that feds are watching this for sure. They put this out here.
It's been sitting here for 2 weeks.
Right.
Don't steal that car.
Definitely the feds. It's a fed car. You're going to get in. Bars are going to shoot up from the window. You're under arrest. RoboCop and Kit come over the intercom. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Now, RoboCop, I think we should calm down a little bit.
Dude, that's like...
Right? They start arguing. You're like, what the fuck?
What's going on? Dead or alive?
Then you hear
That's a little too far, RoboCop.
Right.
Just hit the ejection seat.
Just chill out, man. Just chill out. An ejection seat. Can you imagine a car with ejection seat?
Hold on.
You're trying to get Goose.
Have you ever watched the first episode of Knight Rider?
The very first one?
Very first episode.
I don't remember.
Dude,
it's bad?
It's amazing.
It's
amazing. It explains how Michael Knight became Michael Knight because that wasn't his name in the beginning of the show.
Oh, okay.
Right? And then
it's the very first episode.
Very first episode.
Okay.
He pulls up to this building. It's like a 7-story building, and he needs to get on the roof. Instead of sneaking into the building, Kit just launches his ass.
The car.
The car
launches Knight Rider or
Michael Knight
up
onto the roof of the building
with his what? Ejector seat?
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
You're like, oh.
Yeah. Anyways, all I think about is getting goosed, man.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to come out of that rocket seat and you're going to hit your head right on top of that fucking sun visor.
And break your neck.
Click, clack, boom. You're done.
That's
like a Bad Kid rock song. Going nowhere. Yeah. I don't. Just gravity in humans, man. We've watched enough videos now.
Of people ejecting?
Right. Of people doing rocket boosters, of this, that, or the other, catapults. When you say human and ragdoll, it's just not a good mix.
Listen, that's how one of the people from Mythbusters died.
Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, it was one of the chicks. She was on the show, and she had set a land speed record, and she attempted to break
being catapulted?
No, she ended attempted to break her own land speed record and was killed in the crash for going the car lost control.
Oh, I thought that's normal. I thought you were going to say she was getting catapulted and they goosed her into a wall or some shit. Oh,
they're like, we built this trebuchet and now we need a volunteer.
Right. Okay. I was like, what?
That's all right. I just listened to a story about some cops responded to this neighborhood where these guys built a garbage catapult.
Okay.
Right? And these two guys were arguing and shoving each other, and the cops showed up and they're like, what's wrong? And finally, they broke down in tears and admitted they had catapulted one of their friends. And like 1 block away, they found a guy in a lobster costume buried in the windshield of a car.
What?
Yeah. Somehow they convinced their friend to put a lobster costume on and get into this catapult. And they launched him like a city block.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, that's not
a good idea.
No.
So no matter how drunk you are, don't ever sit in a catapult or a trebuchet. The results will not end up well. That's what they used to launch dead carcasses over castle walls.
Right.
To poison them.
For disease and shit.
For disease and stuff.
So, again.
They used dead carcasses because they didn't care how they landed.
Yeah, of course. Well, I wouldn't use a live diseased one. That wouldn't make no sense. You send that guy over, he's going to give all your secrets away. Oh, yeah, I saw about 20 of them in this direction. That's fucked up. No good. Can't do that. Better to send pieces.
Right.
Like a bad Domino's pizza.
Oh, God.
Right? So there is a guy...
Because people will eat pizza no matter how old it is.
Really?
Dude.
Yeah, that's true.
People eat
start.
pizza. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
So I don't even refrigerate my pizza. I put it in the oven and just eat it for days.
Okay.
No joke.
I like throwing it in the fridge, letting it ice cold, and then eating cold old pizza.
See, I like cold pizza too, but I also just like my pizza at room temperature. I don't know why. More flavor.
All right.
Cold stuff is good though. I mean, come on, who doesn't eat cold pizza?
Right.
It's cold pizza.
It's cold pizza.
Pizza cold and left days out is better than fresh pizza.
I would agree.
Thank you.
I would agree.
That's why we're here, ladies and gentlemen. Go fuck yourselves. Okay? If you think otherwise.
I'm going to sidebar you right now.
Yep, do it.
You want to know what one of the oldest games played by human beings is?
Oh, God. Oh, God. Spin the stick? Little wheel stick? No? Okay. Dice?
Nope.
Thinking dice? No? Okay.
Okay.
Footy ball?
Hold on. Here's a game that we still play today.
Get the fuck out of here.
This
Hopscotch.
game's different.
Oh.
Backgammon. The game of backgammon.
That's the game you're going with?
No.
Oh.
The Romans played backgammon, and they spread the game all over the world.
Really?
And it's still played today.
Isn't that like an old lady sport?
Yeah, well, not a lot of young folks are playing well, maybe in England, there's young people are still playing backgammon.
Really?
But the Romans came up with that one.
Okay.
But the game I'm thinking of is even older than that. It's
Okay,
4,000 years old.
All right, hold on. We can do this. We just got to eliminate everything that has a component. Think of something you could do in your yard with nobody else. Horseshoes.
No.
Fuck. Tag?
No. It's a board game.
Okay, we're on the board. Hold on. We can do this. It's not Monopoly.
It predates the Romans.
Okay, definitely not Monopoly. Maybe Sorry?
No,
Not
it's not.
Candyland.
Sorry, it's not candy. It's not, or Snakes and Ladders, as they call it overseas.
Snakes on a Plane?
No, it's not Snakes on the Plane because that's
okay.
Samuel Jackson.
So a board game that's old as dirt. It's not going to be one of those quizzy question pop culture games.
Nope.
But it's still a board game.
It's not played today. There's only one in existence today, and it's in the British Museum of History.
Wait, so this is not a common game that still exists today?
Yep.
I thought you were saying game that we still play
No,
all the time.
So there's a select group of people who still play it because they have access to it. And you might be able to find a board game.
And
I don't know.
Talking about chess or checker. What is it?
Older
What
than
is
that.
this? What is this?
Older than that.
What is
It's a
this?
game called Ur. Ur. It was invented by the Sumerians.
Okay.
It's 4,000 years old.
What is it? What kind of game is it?
It's so each player has like 5 stones, and the game is to move the 5 stones around the board and get all 5 stones off the board before the other side. But there's pitfalls and traps set on the board, like, move back 2 spaces.
Oh no, you can play this still, brother.
Hmm.
Yeah, look at this.
There you go.
Holy shit. It's a board and it's literally called It's a peg board game. No wonder.
Well,
Should've
the
seen
original
that
wasn't a
coming.
pegboard game. It
was a rock game?
It was played with stones.
Okay.
Right. Now, they found it in an archaeological dig. They found the board and they found the pieces.
It's called the Royal Game of
Yes.
Wow.
So originally they found the board game and the pieces, and they had no idea how it was played. Years later, they found a Sumerian clay text that explained in great detail how to play the game. Now,
Right.
the video I watched, they played the game at its very base level, right?
Okay.
He goes, this is the simple version. However, the version that's written on this clay tablet is 10 times harder, and it's all about betting and drinking.
Oh, you're trying to get fucked up.
It's a drinking game.
That makes sense.
Right.
That does make sense.
But it's still, I guess you can get it today. I wasn't aware of that. But I watched a guy in the British Museum of History play a young kid, and he's like, dude, this game's hard as fuck, but it's also a lot of fun, right? It's a stratagem game.
Yo, I like this.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my thing.
Now, the Vikings used to play a game that predated chess.
Yeah, they called it Drink Your Own Urine, guy. We went over
No,
this
no,
fucking
it wasn't
day.
that one. This game was called Toffel, T-O-F-L.
Okay.
And it is the predecessor to chess. That's what chess was based on.
Really?
Yeah.
You're telling me the Vikings
Yes.
had an idea of chess? Really?
Yes. And it's called Toffel. You can look that one up too.
Other than smacking
I
shit
have
on
a
the
Toffel
head,
board at the
man.
house that I built with the pieces.
Oh.
I just forgot the damn instructions. But it's not a hard game to learn, but it's super cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of chess and games, have you seen that dude who his whole channel is like He's like, oh, the girl ignored you? Check this out. And then he goes through an entire chess game and reads all the pieces and how it goes and how the strategy works and how many moves you'll beat somebody in. It's fucking weird, dude. That's his whole thing. He's like, oh, she wouldn't talk to you today. That's okay. She told me to shut up because I'm a nerd. And then he just starts belting out sequences. And he knows all of it. Sitting there, do the C4 to B3, B3 takes a rook here.
Yeah.
And then by the time you're done, he's like, and this is how you win in 8 moves. And I'm like, okay.
Well, you should learn how to make that translate into real life, and maybe she wouldn't tell you to shut the fuck up.
Right. It's like, I don't really understand the point of this, but you're...
Just saying, my man. Figure that
the
out.
The delivery system here is a little off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, dog, how many times you getting rejected a week that you're a pro chess player, so if X equals Y, you got rejected this many times, now you're a pro player, I got concerned.
Yeah. You obviously haven't learned the game. You haven't learned the game.
Right.
You haven't learned the game.
How can we apply? That should be our book. How can you apply chess to love by Joe Skelly and Tyler? I don't know.
That game would be so fucked. The book would be totally fucked.
Right. I think it can happen though.
It could happen. Here's another old saying: mind your P's and Q's.
That's because they all look the same when you write them, and people suck.
No, that's not what it means.
It's got to be.
You've never heard somebody go, "Hey, man, mind your P's and Q's."
Yeah, I've heard the expression a million times.
Do you know what it comes from?
What?
It's about being drunk in public.
What does P's and Q's have to do with it, though?
Pints and quarts.
There you go.
Mind your P's and Q's means, hey, you're starting to act silly. Mind your pints and quarts so you don't make a fool of yourself in public because you drank too much.
Oh.
There you go. There's a little slice of history.
Dude, this is history left and right, this episode.
I'm telling you, again, tell us how we helped you with your college entrance exams or your college entrance essay.
Right.
Write the show and tell us. Here's another one for you.
We're not going to get you into MIT, but that community college looking fine, baby.
That's right.
What's up?
3 squares a day.
Okay, hit it.
That comes from the British Royal Navy. Because they used to have square plates on board ship so that they could stack them and store them easier than round ones. So 3 squares a day was your 3 meals a day.
If they weren't worried about their meals, they might still be on top.
Yeah.
I don't know who was coming up with that square idea, but that's what broke them.
Well, that's why certain countries are making square. They grow square. Oh my God, my brain just farted. Watermelons.
Fuck out of here.
Yep, they grow square watermelons because they're easier to stack and ship.
All right. We got to look this up.
Go ahead, look it up.
Joe Skelly's calling square watermelons.
Square watermelons and square melons. You know how you do it?
How's that?
You grow them
in a box?
You grow them in a box.
Right. Makes sense. Square watermelon. Holy shit, there it is.
Don't ever challenge me, son.
The Cloud Square watermelon. $45? At Walmart? Okay, first of all, none of the Walmarts around here have square watermelons, guy. Second of all, I ain't paying $45 fucking dollars for a Walmart watermelon. That is some fucked up shit.
You ever had barbecued watermelon?
No. Come on now. Now you're just saying shit.
I'm not.
Now you're just taking 2 words and putting them together.
People slice watermelon and they grill it.
You ever had bowling shoe watermelon? You ever had hot tub watermelon? You ever had West Virginia Hill watermelon?
I might have.
Oh.
I might have.
What was her name?
What was the first?
Square watermelon.
Dude, I got another piece of history for you. Another one. Here's another one.
Go.
First barcode for a product ever created.
Okay.
What was it?
Hit me with it.
What was the product?
Man, I ain't got the fucking slightest idea. How long do those go back?
Wrigley's gum.
No way.
Yep. First barcode was Wrigley's gum, and it was sold in Southern Ohio.
Get out of here.
Dead cereal.
You ever wonder how many facts you hear that people put to their home state that you wonder if you're like, if the dude in the next state over is telling the same story? Here's one. I know this is like weird, but I knew this chick who would come up. So was this guy that used to record with us. He's a rapper, whatever. But his wife would be like, yeah. I used to go to school with Tech 9. He went to school. He grew up in like Colorado or some dumb shit. And I'm like, like every 1.54 songs Tech 9 talks about that he grew up in Kansas City. No. He grew up here. I'm like,
Are you sure?
Right. Like, did the lore of your town is so thick that you just believe it? Right?
Right.
Like, what was the other one that we heard? We heard the walk-in cooler, beer cooler. We talked about it on our old episode, right?
Yeah. The beer cave.
Oh, this is the first one that blah 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 exists. I'm like,
yeah, well, I think that guy was full of shit.
Yeah, I'll bet that guy in LA thought the same thing. The guy in Chicago you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the first walk-in the
I
beer cave.
invented a cooler.
The first
like,
beer cave was not invented in that small town.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Right. How would you know anymore? Like, this is the age of documentation today, right? So the first guy who invents the serum to go invisible, that motherfucker better be on Instagram. Guys, look what I just made. He takes his pill and he goes invisible. You know what I mean?
Nobody would believe it, though, because of Photoshop and everything else.
That's what I'm saying. How the fuck do you officially document something? Because here's what happens. We all know this. You bring in a higher power, they might just take it for what they want.
Mm-hmm.
We've learned that from comedians, Dave Chappelle, all the way down to simple joke integrity, values. Hey, I made this joke up, but you just took it out and used it on stage right before I'm supposed to go on type shit.
Oh, speaking of which, somebody told me about Robin Williams.
Yeah, what about him?
Then when Robin Williams was in his heyday and he was doing all that Bolivian snow,
yeah,
that guys would just walk up and it'd be like, yo.
Oh, yeah, I need a joke.
No, you stole my joke and you used it on stage.
Oh, he would pay him.
And he would write him a check right there on the spot.
Yep. Yeah, he didn't care.
Yep.
Yeah. That dude's a G.
He's
smart as fuck, too. Because here's my thing. If you were on top and you got some disgruntled guy, right? Let's say you get one a month for 5 years that comes up to you and you go pay these guys. You think they're talking shit about you now?
No.
Fuck no. That story went from, hey, that piece of shit stole my joke to Robin Williams liked my fucking joke so much he paid me, motherfucker. Here's the fucking receipt.
Yeah. Here's the canceled check.
Pay me more. Right.
Here's the canceled check.
Yup. Pay me more.
That is a G unit.
Right. And you change that right there, I'd be like, okay.
I got a story.
Even worried.
I got a story I'll tell you off mic about somebody I knew that would ensure that people wouldn't talk about them.
Nice. Yeah. You hear the one? Did you hear the one? There's a story about Nas, Tupac, and Snoop, when Snoop and him were coming around and shit. And I guess Nas was around then, which I didn't know that. Oh yeah, I think it's Nas. Either way, dude comes up and he had done something, either took a bar or took something, and Tupac told him, hey motherfucker, you done stole from me. That's fucked up. And I guess the dude was like, okay, I'm not super worried, and left. And Tupac looked at Snoop and was like, yo, I let that motherfucker walk, blah, 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 blah. And this is when they were younger. Nas was already had people around him. And Snoop Dogg looked at him and was like, I don't think that's how that went, guy. I think he just let us go.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
And didn't like, imagine that's your game though. Because again, Robin Williams people, they're not coming up with guns being like, yo, dog, you stole my joke. You ready to get it? These other motherfuckers come like, hey man, you did this. Oh, okay. And then he left. Tupac's like, I'll let that fucker walk. And that boy's like,
and Snoop was like, no,
I don't think so.
He pretty much punked you out.
Yeah, I think he's got all the people he needs. We ain't got nobody. From that culture of how many guns do we got today?
Yeah.
Not that many. But that's a funny thing to think about, because there are tons of people. Look at Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle talks about it. People have been taking his jokes and sliding forever. That's a huge thing in the joke community, though.
Oh,
it is. It's never-ending stories about who stole this.
Listen, it's the same thing with music. So here's my question: there's the thought that there's a universal consciousness,
right,
and that we all operate on the same wavelength.
Before we go further in that, do you believe in that?
To a certain degree. To an extent.
That's true. It's true.
Nothing's new.
No.
It's just variants of something that we're already around.
Remember when Napster dropped and fucking Shorty Lars had to go in there and sue them and be like, blah, 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 we own this, and then continued to sue for a scale. Bro, he tried to sue for a musical scale and was like, if you write a scale in this fucking notation in this order, it belongs to Metallica. Are you fucking dumb? Bro, why don't you just come out and tell me that you're going to fucking, copyright all the exhaled shit that comes out of your mouth?
Right.
Like,
you can't do that.
Are you fucking dumb?
Can't do that.
How's that work? Why don't we go down and copyright Spanish? Why don't we do that? While we're at it, we can copyright the triangle. We can copyright the pi equation. You know, fuck it. We may as well take Einstein's theory of relativity and take that too.
Copyright the shit out of it.
Copyright it.
Right?
We used it. We used it once. I wrote it on paper. I added a period. Now it's mine.
You might get a visit from the government.
Bro.
I'm just saying. Look at all that missing Nikola Tesla shit.
Right. It's not going to be a visit of what can we learn from this man. It's going to be a visit of how far off is this man. Right. That's the only visit we're getting today on this podcast.
Right.
What's wrong with these numbskulls?
Dude, it's like how about this? They found the oldest recorded piece of music, right? And they know what instrument it was played on, and they've recreated it and what it would sound like. And they even have the lyrics that went with the song, right? It's like 3,000 years old, right?
Okay.
What if you just slightly changed the scale and made it a modern song? You're still stealing.
Right.
Right? Nothing's original, right?
Dude, listen. So first of all, when I first started with my music teacher, she told me that. She's like, look, if you want to make music, just go steal some Mozart, change the time on it, speed it up, add some effects, and you're Gucci. This was the first lesson I ever had with her, like 7 years ago. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't help me today, guy. Right? Imagine somebody telling you that. Like, you know, it doesn't make any sense. Now you have Instagram videos of dudes showing you the scale that's from Beethoven that wrote Dr. Dre's song.
Right.
And it teaches you right here, hey, here's this piece of music that we sped up, put it on a fucking synthesizer, and now it sounds hella good.
The only thing I know that's original, and it's probably not even original, I knew a guy in a band who used to play what he called the bojo.
The bojo.
It was a banjo that he would play with a cello bow.
Yeah, and that's just mixing it because those two items already exist. So that's not even new.
That's not even new.
That's just hodgepodging it.
Yeah.
But
it was super unique. It was a super unique sound.
Right. Here's the thing. Guys like Amigo, like that circuit, they're already doing that. The guy we saw with, remember I told you guy we saw with Buckethead? He invented his instrument out of the old rainbow vacuum, which we talked about. He had the vacuum tube that was fully high.
Yep.
He had cut rivets in it, ran strings down it, had some sort of pickup applied to it, and could sit there and play stand-up bass on a vacuum tube.
Yeah, but see, that's not original either because you had guys that were
None
taking
of it's
old
original. That's what I'm saying.
Taking old wash tubs,
yeah,
putting a wooden stick and running 3 strings off the top of that to the bottom of the wash tub.
Right. And that's my point. There's nobody doing that. And anything you do today, there's probably some dude in a garage doing it.
The only thing that would be remote, and not even them, was Uncle Scratch's gospel revival, who was playing buckets and paint buckets and shopping carts as percussion instruments and all kinds of other weird things.
That was all done before instruments were invented, though.
Yep.
That's just going backwards again.
Yep.
You know, every time you bust the trash can out. And Slipknot did that too. They're like, oh, we're going to bring trash cans out. Bang on trash cans and look, we're famous.
It's like, isn't that what those stomp guys did with the Blue Man Group did?
Right, yep.
With PVC pipe and wearing chocolates and just beating on them?
They make all their music that way. I like, it's not a big deal to me. I mean, dude, there's guys right now that are entertainers that are making full beats and songs using the sound. There's one guy online who did the sounds of a Jeep. Every sound for the song is a sound he makes with a Jeep truck. And he recorded it that way. He's got the whole beat.
That's like the guys that took a month to play all the noises that their electronic washing machine would make.
Yep. And then put it into a song. Yep.
And then, recorded all of them and then put them into a song.
Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, I personally don't think there's so many styles. There's so many styles. Right. And now if you see these new hybrid styles, we found this dude the other day, calls himself Kim Dracula, right? His 6-minute song has country, Marilyn Manson, techno, hardcore, and even some of that 90s singing rock crap. All in one song, bro. With breakdowns, with a guitar solo, and I'm just like,
did it sound like hot garbage?
It was good because it was timed and correctly and everything was great. It's just if you're not a weirdo like me who wants that bipolar fucking music to go up and down psycho, who's listening to this?
Not a lot of folks.
I don't think so. I mean, the dude's famous now, but there's always going to be this wave, and I really believe this. There's always going to be that wave of 20-year-olds. If you can get your music into the 20-year-old group, it'll go forever because those kids are just pumping it to everybody. They think it's the newest, hottest thing, and that's how people are discovered.
Right. They're like, check me out on SoundCloud.
Right. Right around that age is if you're going to go famous because you're viral and shit, not that you can't, whatever, but if you come out in that crowd, you tend to last forever. You know,
Yeah.
if you're hitting multi crowds, and again, it is the younger crowd too, because you can have music that comes out that, you know, younger crowds might not touch. But if you can get it into that flow of the young crowd and it grows out from that little time period, and it doesn't matter. It could be 2020 with a 20-year-old or 2000 with a 20-year-old. You see it time and time again with these bands that come out. And my thought is it's not that I'm creating something new. It's that I'm bringing something that's new to you. That's how I think they're winning. Because when we look at them, like, let's use Lil Peep as an example. R.I.P. Lil Gus Emo Pete. Like, his music is emo music mixed with rap. Well, we just come off the emo scene like 10 years ago. So when he started dropping all that, we didn't really care about it because it was like, all right, cool, dude. You put two genres together. You put rappers and emo kids together. But the young guns, they eat that shit up. And now that's an entire genre by itself.
So was mumble rap.
Right. And who got a hold of that first? Young kids. Now here's the other thing too. If we go into mumble rap, what's funny there is there's an entire history of bands like, you know, Tribe Called Quest doing that kind of stuff that makes it not new. And hip hop history is so young that the minute you come out with hip hop and you talk shit, like, I got this new shit, somebody with a backpack, you know, they make the joke about backpack hip hop heads. He's going to poke a hole in your shit.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be like, nah, bro, you didn't do that. Somebody in 1995 did that. Somebody in 1993 did that, you know, and all these bins. But that's the joke is like, now I feel like everyone's just mixing everything. You have to.
For sure.
And you have such a loss of the old bands. Have you noticed the upswing in dudes who have come out that are just dressed like Amish dudes? Like there are bands dropping left and right, and they're like, man, this is, you know, I dress like an Amish cat 24/7. This is how I look. You know? Fucking hipsters. Thanks a lot, Joe Skelly. Fucking vegans, huh?
Not my fault.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with it.
Fault. Oh, it's your fault.
Nothing to do with it.
Your people's.
My people's.
Listen, if my generation's getting blamed for I don't know what economy shit, I'm laying it on you guys.
Well,
you let them slip through.
Look, I wasn't on watch that day.
Oh, okay. Tommy Skelly.
You put that on Tommy Skelly.
Right.
And you could ask him about that shit when he comes back on. Because,
we're going to.
Oh, I know.
He'll have an answer though. Well, I think that was Joe Skelly's fault. No. That's what he's going to say.
No. He'll put that on somebody else.
Oh, that's not here?
Yeah, that's not here.
Mr. Yingling.
Yeah, he won't even put that on Mr. Yingling.
No, he's like, no. All right, I feel it. Ladies and gentlemen, 97 seconds of everything you love.
Write the show.
Like
the podcast. Get on your platform and like us, man. Give us a review. Like, we need some more review. We need some serious reviews on these platforms to help these algorithms.
Right.
Because we're currently getting tromped on by those
Skynet.
idiots. Yeah, we're fighting Skynet. Like those kids, the Star Wars kids who finally beat Joe Rogan. Like, why aren't we up there with them?
Well, we don't talk about Star Wars.
I know.
I'll talk about Leia.
We did talk about Han Solo season. And by the way, I just saw Han Solo the other day.
None of our females... Oh. What? None of our females wanted to listen to that one, bro. We fucked that all up. They said, fuck you guys talking about us.
Yeah, well,
there was a protest on that episode.
I know.
It was one of our lower hitting episodes. They were like, fuck this. Han Solo boot season. We know exactly what you dickheads are talking about. They don't want to listen to us.
And they just turned it off.
Right. The Mega Beast didn't even mention that episode.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking. I think we're getting silently boycotted.
Yeah, it was a silent boycott. And they told all their manses, don't listen to this episode.
Right. Buy that soap and use it on your balls. I ain't touching it. Right. Right. So, you know, it is what it is.
Look, and if somebody else is out there listening to this on a smart fridge, write us and let us know about it.
Ooh, or a robot.
Ooh.
Now I'm waiting for the first motherfucker to tell me they're listening to it on their robot doll.
Or in their Tesla car.
Ooh, yeah. Tesla car would be cool too.
Yeah.
Not as hood as we take it, but definitely cool.
Right.
Do we know any people with Teslas?
I don't. I just know that there's a Tesla about to orbit Mars.
Are you?
Remember when Daddy Elon launched that Tesla into outer space?
Oh God!
He shot it towards Mars. It's about to be orbiting Mars for eternity.
This is okay. This is why aliens won't visit us, because we send baseballs and Teslas into space like idiots. All right, well, 97 seconds.
Bays Boys Podcast.
Be happy, be well.
We'll check you later.